Hello, hello, hello. I'm Dr. Kenny Harless, and I was formerly a chiropractor. Now I'm a consultant. I'm a network, also with network marketing company Juice Plus, and I'm what we call a national marketing director. And so I didn't start this though. For that, it was kind of comical. I practiced almost 17 years in Michigan, down in Dundee, and I was kind of what you would call a straight chiropractor. I just have always believed in the potential of the body, the power, made the body heals the body. And so, but what I started to notice in practice is when I opened my clinic, I didn't see nearly as many diseases as I saw at the end of my practice. And I started seeing a lot of people come in with like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, a lot of digestive issues. Started seeing a lot more things like depression and all kinds of things in children. And it just kind of made me start to question what was going on. And I was raised probably like you guys. I call these right here the Yabba Dabba Don'ts, the Flintstone vitamins. You guys ever seen these? Right. And I say this because do you notice how there's a locking lid on this? That's because 60,000 Americans overdose on multivitamins every year. There's actually a warning label on this. And I always kid people, and I'm like, look, if God wanted us to eat out of a tree, if he wanted us to eat these things, they'd be hanging in the tree. And so someone brought that to my attention. And so what happened going through practice about 4 years ago, I was approached by a colleague, and he told me about this. And he told me about these things called Juice Plus. It's basically vegetables and fruits in a capsule. Okay. And so this has broccoli, parsley, tomato, carrot, garlic, lemon, peel, rice bran, and kale. They put the peel in because there's more folate and natural B vitamin in the pill than there is the actual lemon itself. And notice how this is a flip top. That's because these are capsules. So what the company does, they vine ripen all the produce. And what they do is when they pick it when it's ripe, they freeze it immediately after washing within 6 hours to lock in the nutrition. And then they take out the water, the fiber, and the sugar, and they put it in little capsules like this. And I used to have patients go, well, wait a minute, how did they get all that in there? And I said, well, if I cremated you, how much you use left? And they were like, well, not much. I said, well, that's exactly what they do here. So really what they're doing is they're using the pills, the stems, the seeds, and the pits to put inside because that's where all the nutrition is. So I started taking it and I got it for free for my little girl. And you get to put a child on this for free for up to 4 years. Now, there's a company called Jackson Hewitt. It's one of the largest accounting firms on the planet. And this is what kind of blew my mind. What they did in this is they have monitored this for 21 years now. We have 3 million families in this free study with 300,000 respondents. And what they have found, there's a 66% reduction in doctor visits when kids take this, a 60% reduction in lost days of school missed. And also children that eat this, 71% eat more fruits and vegetables, drink more water, and eat less fast food. And I was like, well, God, what parent wouldn't want that? Now, I still wasn't sold. And my buddy kept pressuring me about it, honestly. Sound familiar? When you love somebody, you want to share it with them. And I wasn't ready to hear the thing. And so I put this stuff out, the bottles in my clinic, empty. And I had 2 ladies pop in that have been patients of mine for years. And they go, what's this? And I go, well, it's like juicing, but it's in a capsule. So there's no mess. There's no cleanup. It's not nearly as expensive. And they were like, well, sign me up. And we'll talk about this, but you can get 30 vegetables and fruits a day, plus a free kid study, which is 10 veggies and 10 fruits, which are the greens and the reds. And it cost me $2.50 a day. When I added omegas, which are all plant-based as well, everything's vegan free, it's gluten-free, dairy-free. That also cost me $3.50 a day total for 35 different plants. So I put these out, 2 ladies sign up, and they started taking the product now, my God, 4 years ago. Have you guys ever heard of residual income? Because I hadn't. And so what happened, I have never done something 4 years ago and continued to be paid on it every single month. Have any of you guys on here done that? Because I hadn't. And I was so dense, I didn't see this thing. Well, fast forward a couple of years, my buddy goes, Kenny, you got to check this research out. We have 41 peer-reviewed double-blind studies on this product. And I was like, really? I said, well, send me something over on inflammation. How many of you guys hear of words that end in itis, like bronchitis, arthritis, plantar fasciitis, right? That's all. Itis means inflammation. Inflammation means fire in Latin. And things that show up in our bodies, how many of you guys ever get joint pain? Like your joints ache and start to hurt? Maybe you're getting some, I used to get, sorry to be gross, but like really loose stools. I was an athlete taking a lot of whey protein and stuff like that, and it jacked up my intestines. And I would not have solid movements. And I started taking this, and my bowel movements became normal within weeks. And my shoulder pain went away almost immediately, something I had dealt with for like 20 years from playing baseball in college. And I was kind of like, huh. And I didn't even correlate it, to be honest with you. So a buddy keeps telling me this. He keeps sending me information. We have studies in cancer survivor studies at MD Anderson in Texas, Florida, Florida State, BYU, UCLA, Arizona, Georgetown, 8 countries, 3 continents, and 41 peer-reviewed double-blind studies, guys, on fruits and vegetables in a capsule, right? And I still thought it had to be more complicated. So I picked out 20 patients and put them on it. And I saw everything from anything change, whether it was blood pressure readings in patients, to joint pain, to sleeping better, to bowel movement changes, to even men who had erectile dysfunction. Honest to God, I saw changes in that. And I just went bonkers with it. And I'm very spiritual. I'm religious. I don't want to say religious. I'm very spiritual. I'm very biblical. And one of my patients I had cared for 8 years, came into the office on a Monday. It was the Monday after Labor Day, 2018, guys. Okay. And she comes in, and I shared with her the MD Anderson cancer study survivor study that they did down in Texas. And I told her all about it. She said, send me the video information with videos on this stuff. So I did. The following Monday, she comes into my clinic. She was, you had no idea. I just came from my oncologist. My cancer numbers are all back. You told me about this product. And I don't believe in coincidence. I'm spiritual just like you and Christian. And she's, I don't believe in coincidences. And she signed right up, and it was a year in, and her blood work all came back as normal, guys. And I've seen that over and over again. Now, that is a testimonial, to be honest with you, right? But the research shows when you reduce inflammation, which is what this does. So for you guys that ever cook on a stove and you get a grease fire, this is what inflammation is in your body. And most people try to put it out with water. They don't know what to do, right? And it spreads it. And what Juice Plus acts like is like throwing baking soda on the grease fire. And so it's just a very simple way to get this into our families and to help boost immunity, which this has been clinically shown to do. It's also shown to increase cardiovascular function in 26 of those studies. It's also been shown to clinically improve gut health. That was the latest study done at University of Memphis. It's been shown to, over in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, the Olympic teams take 12 servings a day. Now you might be wondering, well, why would Olympic athletes do that? In the Olympics, you can't even take an aspirin. A female cannot even be on the pill, okay, because they check you for all these drugs. Well, what this does, inflammation after you work out, when your body gets sore, that's due to inflammation and tissue breakdown. So if you could bring down inflammation naturally, would it make sense that your body's more likely to heal quicker, recover faster? This is why so many athletes do this thing. So if this makes sense to you, some people, the product makes sense to, right? I should say almost everybody it makes sense to. And how do I qualify this? Like, how do you know if you need this? Well, you used to need to eat, when I was growing up, 4 to 6 servings of vegetables and fruits a day. Today, the daily recommended doses, depending upon what you read, range anywhere from 9 to 15 servings. If you're an athlete, 16 to 20 servings, guys. And the reason being, you know how you see all these restaurants now and they say farm to table? That's because produce, when they grow it, you guys live in Michigan for the most of you probably, right? What's your growing season up there? Like a month and a half, right? You know what I mean? If you're growing a garden, you can only grow for a very short period of time, right? I lived up there. So what happens, these farmers pick the produce 2 to 3 weeks early so that it doesn't rot on the shelf. So they're actually green. That's why when you get strawberries or bananas, you ever seen green bananas at the grocery store? Once you pick it off the vine, it loses its nutritional value. But what Juice Plus does is they pick it when it's ripe, wash and freeze it. They create like a juice, and then they remove the fiber, the water, and the sugar, and they put it in capsules. And even the capsules are vegan. So everything you see in our products are NSF certified, which is this little label right here. And less than 1% of food has that little NSF label. And what that tells you, the only thing on The label is actually in the product. So you can probably see that that's broccoli, parsley, tomato, carrot, garlic, lemon, beet, rice bran, kale. That's what's in the greens. And the green and the red come together. There's also berries. And then we have omegas, we have shakes, and we have bars. Now, if the products make sense, we also have a business. The business is $52 one time per year. Hey, boo, come here. I love you. Okay. You say good night.
Good night.
I love you.
Love.
Sweet dreams, okay, boo. And so that's another beautiful thing. You get to do this stuff from home, right? But long story short, where was I at with that? Totally lost my thinking in that.
You're talking about the business, $52 a year.
Thank you. Yeah, it's $52 once a year. You get your front office and back office. You earn 10% sales commission on anything that you sell. So if you sell $900 in a month, you get 10% of that. You can earn commissions and bonuses, and you can even get full medical benefits. So with me as a doctor, that was huge. I own my own practice. But what I didn't realize is when I didn't show up, if I went on vacation, I did not get paid. Well, in this system, I actually did. And to be honest with you, this is something I love to share, but this changed my father and my mother's lives. Literally, like my dad used to have terrible allergies, was on this stuff for a few months, hasn't had an allergy shot since, all kinds of things. And he is the most skeptical person I've ever met in my life. So with him, he said, well, son, this is a pyramid. And so I said, you mean like this? You guys may have heard this. I had heard this stuff. Like I always heard network marketing. I heard terrible things because I didn't have a clear picture of it. And so what happens is in the typical Walmart scenario, Victoria's Secret, right? Nordstrom, whatever, you have a CEO, correct? Every corporate structure is shaped like a pyramid. And then you have international managers, national managers, regional managers, districts, you have sales, all these people all the way down. This making sense so far? And so you might be right about here. And what happened in my father's case, he worked really hard his whole life. He 32, almost, well, 43 years total, but 32 years on, and then they got rid of him. And it was cheaper to hire him back years later and pay him no benefits or pension, and they paid him more money. But they have fired him, and he would show up an hour to work every single day. And people think that's safe. How many of you guys have heard this story before, right? Talk to anybody in corporate America. I know Laura, God bless, Steve's been going through that for a while now, right? And so what happened, I said, the only way you'll ever reach the top is to marry that person. And God bless mom, she's already got you. Right? So what happens with the way our organization is structured, it's an upside down pyramid, and you start down here. And you can be white, purple, black, polka dot, male, female. You can be Korean, Oriental. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're in 26 countries, guys, around the world. And you literally, it doesn't matter. As long as you're 18 years of age, the oldest person I've met in our company is 95 years old to hit the top. So you can do this. You can retire into this, and it's a blast. So here's kind of what happened. You start at the very bottom, and you can continue to level up. And as you level up, you can reach the top. And these X's could be you. And this could be, there might be 5 people that month that hit the top of the company. It could be 100. There's no cutoff. So if you look at this, which one makes more sense, right? Now, here's the other thing I want to share with you. In our business, what is so beautiful is this. You have to be coachable or teachable, and you have to duplicate. So what we do is we do 2 calls a week. We do a Tuesday night call at 7 p.m. where we share the business and the products, and that people can bring people to the call and learn. And then we also get together on Saturdays and do more strategy and mindset coaching and things of that nature, and reach out to people. We teach a 5-hour work week. I understand this is probably not your main gig. It's not mine either, okay? But what happens if you can just add 5 hours over time? John Paul Getty was one of the first billionaires in America. And I love what he said. And it took me years to understand this. He said, and I'm still understanding it, but he said, I'd rather have 1% of thousands of people's efforts than 100% of my own, because we can only work so many hours ourselves. But do you remember how I was talking about duplicating? Let's say here that Olivia starts up here. Okay, oh, that's you right there. And so, oh, Olivia brings in, let's just say, guys, she brings in 5 people and do this business with her, right? And what happens is this, so her first line, there's 5 people that do this with her. Now, if those people bring on 5, and this gets kind of crazy really fast, but here's how this works. If this is Olivia and her first line, she brings on 5 people. Those 5 people then bring on 5 people. Her second line down, she's at 25. If those 25 bring on 5, your third line down, or generation as we call them, is 125 people. And if those 5 bring on 5, it's 625 people at the fourth line. But watch this. If that next line, 625, brings on 5, you're at 3105 for a total of 3,906 people all out sharing it. And here's how this works. If each of these people are worth just $10, and they are, and some are way more and some are less, add a 0, and that's a paycheck that you can receive. I know many people doing this. Now, here's the other thing. Remember how we're talking about hours that you can work? Do any of you guys know anybody on social media, 5, 10 people that would like to earn more money, maybe 500 extra bucks a month that could pay for a car, right? Or build up into retirement? Here's the other thing. Do you guys know anybody who wants to be healthier, that want to look better and feel better? How many of you guys know that would like to know people that would actually like their skin to look younger? I know, Laura, you and I are a little bit younger on this call, right? But we want to look better as we age, right? This product is clinically proven to increase microcirculation of the skin over at the number one skin institution in the world in Germany by 39%, guys. Okay. So now watch this. If these 5 people work 5 hours a week, these are the hours. That's 25 hours that you have now, these people helping you share this thing. If these 25 times 5, we're at 125. Laura, I'm gonna need your calculator again. 625, right? So basically we're just, what's that last number? It's 15,000 something, isn't it?
I think it was 19,000 something.
Yeah, but I mean, like there was 15,000 something, right? Anyway, here's the point. So it's like 19,000 plus hours, guys, a month for simple math. When you get that kind of people underneath you. So now you're starting to hit things on a massive scale. So this is the power of duplication, is what I'm trying to share with you. And the funny stat that I've learned is 93% of women, not trying to be sexist here, but women in corporate America, or in America, that earn over 6 figures and 7 figures are doing network marketing, because you guys are natural networkers. Guys are not. I don't know. I guess I'm a goofy unicorn in this thing, but literally this is where it is and stuff. And so if it makes sense to you, we can share more, but I just want to kind of go over and show you some simple things. And I don't expect you guys to get all this right now. I remember when I saw stuff like this, I was like, what are they talking about? But I've been studying this for a few years now, and it starts to really sink in. It starts to make a lot of sense. So does anybody have any questions though, for about anything for me that I can help with?
Does it do anything for pregnancy?
Oh yeah, well, that's actually, honestly, that's a big reason why I joined this. And I'll be my story. My wife, we were a little bit older as we got pregnant, and right at 3 months, I had her on prenatals, and we actually have a pregnancy study on these products. So we did the thing, the prenatal thing, like most people, and right at 3 months, that's when you have a hormone shift in your pregnancy, and you go from estrogen to progesterone. And my wife miscarried twice within 6 months, and it was my fault because I put her on the prenatal, and it was the best one that I knew of. And when I found Juice Plus, I would totally in a million years done this, but they've got a study at University of Mississippi, and they had like 242 females. They compared on Juice Plus during their pregnancy compared to 242 without. The women taking the Juice Plus, which is the vegetables and fruits in the capsules, they had 0% preeclampsia compared to 12% in the group not taking Juice Plus. They had 0% gestational diabetes compared to 12% that were taking the prenatals. Zero of those children under Juice Plus were born early. They weighed an extra pound more. Their umbilical cord was 3 times larger, just to name a couple of things. So yes, it's vegetables and fruits. And if you go to a doctor, guys, and you're looking for prevention pamphlets, does it ever say take more multivitamins? Or does it say things like drink more water, eat more vegetables and fruits, move, and de-stress? See, it's just what we tend to do is what we were taught to do. We do what everybody's doing. And I was in the same boat. I was taking stuff like these, the Yabba Dabba Don'ts, where it has a locking lid. And we have a lady who her husband wasn't paying attention. She was out doing her thing. And if you ever look at our gummies, okay, the chewables, they come in Ziploc bags. And her 2-year-old ate an entire bag. That's 2 months supply. The dad flips out, calls poison control, thinks the kid's going to die, right? And because it's in a certified, they were able to tell him what it was. They go, oh no, he's just going to poop a lot. It's just a bunch of vegetables. It just detoxed the kid. Now I didn't even remember this, but I ate this as a kid. I ate the whole freaking bottle, and my mom had to take me to the ER to have my stomach pumped. I didn't remember doing that. I was so little. But that's the stuff you don't have to worry about. One of our other clients, their dog ate 4 months of gummies, and the company sent them a whole brand new shipment. So it's just been a phenomenal company to work for. It's been incredible. Phenomenal customer service. And Laura, you've been doing it now for a few years as well. You know that as well. I mean, they're super awesome to work with. They want people to be customers for life. And it's really simple. The beautiful thing about what we do, we're in 26 countries. You don't have to stock any products. You literally get the information, you input the order in, and voila. And it auto ships every 4 months for them. It's extremely cost effective for what you get. I don't even know how they do it. It's crazy. And but like I said, you just basically share your story and your business. That's it. And 1 out of 5 people end up, when they take the product, join the business. So any other questions? But yes, totally safe for children, pregnancy, all that type of stuff. If I'd have known about this, I'd have had my little girl on this sooner, to be honest with you.
How quickly do you see results from taking it?
That's a great question. I mean, it depends on what people are looking for, to be honest with you. I know when I started taking it, I instantly noticed difference in my bowel movements. My joint pain was gone within 3-4 days, and I slept way better and had better energy. I've had other people I had a patient, to be honest with you, she was a nurse, and she's, I don't really feel any different. And then she went and got her blood work done, and her bone density was stronger than it's been in 25 years. You'll see cholesterol. I had to tell people, when you start taking it, do your blood work, check your blood work, because people start noticing blood pressure reduces, cholesterol changes. My mom's cholesterol dropped, I think it was 110 points in a year. Her cousin's triglycerides of her husband dropped 1,000 points in a year. I mean, I've seen people's A1Cs go down 2 and 4 points in a matter of months. I've seen blood glucose, people on insulin that could not control it, drop 150 points in a month. I mean, you name it. It's blood pressure I see all the time change instantly. It's hilarious. So sometimes I guess what I'm trying to say is it might not be something so much that you feel. My wife noticed the feeling much faster than I did, because she was like, man, I can tell when I don't take it, my energy's off. You know what I mean? Like, she noticed that instantly. Me, with that was a little bit more gradual, but like I noticed other things much faster.
Is there any sort of detox with the products?
It'll detox you, Brianna, for sure. I mean, like I have, it's funny you asked that. it does have that effect on people, to be honest with you. Like I'd have patients who were constipated, and like the first thing they'd ask me is, "Does that stuff make you poop?" And I'm from West Virginia originally. So my state, I mean, I think people that were a year ahead of me in school and behind me in school that I've counted, like 50 people have died from opiate addiction, like breaking legs and stuff and getting put on opiates. And what I did not realize is when people get on those drugs, is it shuts down their digestive tract and they won't poop. I mean, they get literally impacted. And I kept doing these videos on brain health and gut health and the connection. And one of my buddies, like he was 41 and he literally, they were going to put a colostomy bag in him. And I mean, it was just, his spine was deteriorating. It was crazy. And he started taking this and it changed. I mean, immediately, like within days, he was going. And what I didn't know, another friend of mine called me up and he told me that same type of thing. And it was all detoxing in their systems. But he was like, yeah, he goes, I was able to beat that addiction. He said, but then they put you on a drug to help you poop, which leads you right back to the opiate use again. And so it wasn't even, like I said, about a week. And he was like right back to normal. And the guy hadn't had a bowel movement over a year. Like he was having to take literally colonics and things like that daily. So yes, in my case, I had very loose stools and mine became normal. So detoxing, sometimes people and sometimes will notice absolutely changes of bowel movements, sweating patterns. I mean, all kinds of different things, if that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I don't try to be too graphic, but it's like I always tell people my story. I mean, that's mine. And, you know, my wife's like, I can't believe you tell people. I was like, whatever, everybody poops, whatever. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, guys, feel free to shoot away. There's no dumb questions. If I don't know an answer, I'll find it for you. I promise. I've been doing this now for years and I'm still learning every single day. So, but all of the products that we have are gluten-free. They're dairy-free. They're also all plant-based. Even our omegas are made from plants, guys. I didn't know that one. Like I remember when I started studying something about omega-3 fish oil, but fish get the omegas from algae. And so Juice Plus uses all plant-based products that are sustainable. And even the capsules are actually made from plants. So anybody else? Steve, you're trying to talk here.
Yeah, I am trying to talk. Olivia had to go rescue her baby.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, but otherwise she would have came on here and told everyone thanks for joining the call.
Yeah, no,
she's going to text them all.
Absolutely. Does anybody else have any questions, guys, about anything?
You said something about the fiber isn't in there. How is that?
That's a great question. When they make it, they kind of almost create like a juice. And so what they do is they take the fiber for the most part out of the capsules. Now, inside of our shakes and our bars, they do have fiber. But in the capsules, guys, I tell people, anybody, you guys are all younger, but you guys remember Kool-Aid? You have that little packet that makes all, right? This is kind of what I explain to people. It's kind of like jet fuel. So when you remove the fiber and the water and most of the sugar out of these and you put them in capsules, there's nothing for your digestive tract to compete with. So it's super absorptive is what I'm trying to say to you. And we actually have clinical studies. It's called bioavailability. Big fancy word, but all that means is this gets proven clinically to get into your bloodstream and actually cause functional changes in your body. So like they did a study over in Austria where they took like a half of a dose, which would be one capsule of the red and the greens. The reds are fruits, 10 different fruits, and the greens are 10 different vegetables. So every time that you take this, you get broccoli, parsley, tomato, carrot, garlic, lemon peel, rice bran, and kale. Okay. And so what happens, they took like, I think it was 100 milliliters of water. They were on no medications for 2 weeks, They ate terrible food, and so that way they could kind of track the bloodstream. They took a half a dose of Juice Plus. They measured their blood work, and within 1 to 2 hours, they found these nutrients in the bloodstream. That means that your upper intestines was absorbing it. Within 5 to 10 hours, they found it again, which shows that your lower GI tract, like your colon, is absorbing it. But here's where it gets interesting. They then found certain nutrients and vitamins that weren't even in Juice Plus that coalesced and worked symbiotically with your body. See, a multivitamin, have you guys ever had multivitamins? You know how like your urine stinks and it changes color? That's because your body does not recognize it. So it's trying to excrete it. And 98.5% of all vitamins are actually made from petroleum, from oil. I'm not making this stuff up. I had no clue. These are actually come from fruits and vegetables. And they use the pills, the stems, the seeds, and the pits. That's where most of the nutrition is. And so really what you're getting is the micronutrients of that. What people tend to do is we tend to eat a lot of one thing. Like for instance, today I had a steak at lunch and I had some broccoli. What medical research now knows, it's not about eating a lot of one thing. It's about eating a little bit of a lot of different things. And that's what Juice Plus is. Does that help?
Kayla, Jason says you had a question.
Yeah, so my question, this is not meant to come off like offensive at all, so please don't take it that way, but just genuinely asking, like, my family and I eat, like, generally speaking, pretty healthy. I myself am gluten and dairy free. I think I eat a lot of vegetables.
Let's
fruits,
edit
protein,
that.
stuff like
Gluten and
that.
dairy free when you want to be.
No. But anyways, long story short, why should someone that has like a pretty good diet, I would say, that does eat vegetables, does eat fruits, be taking a product like this?
That's a great question. Well, for one, you're supposed to consume anywhere from like 10 to 15 fistful sizes raw of vegetables and fruits every day. That's how much you're supposed to consume today. And the reason being is the produce that one's eating, they pick it 2 and 3 weeks early. So when you pick it early, you're losing all the nutrition. That's why they're asking people to eat more today. So I can eat a lot, but there's no way that I eat 10 to 15 servings a day. I eat 2 salads every day with all kinds of different vegetables and fruits, and I don't get near that. So what we do is we use this to bridge that gap. And you're getting 35 different plants every single day in your body. And a great thing to add to that, you can look this up. The Imperial College of London did a study where they looked at 2 million people, 95 different studies. And the highest amount of fruit and vegetable consumption they could find were 10 servings a day. Now, when they looked at this, it was the cancer rates when people ate 10 servings a day dropped dramatically. It was like 32% reduction in cardiovascular disease, and blood vascular damage, all kinds. It was crazy. And what they found is that there's never a cutoff. So the more vegetables and fruits that one eats, the healthier they are. There's never a stopping point. So for me, I take 3 servings of this a day, and I still eat 2 salads a day.
Thank you for answering that.
Yes, ma'am. Some days honestly, I take more. If I don't feel good or I'm traveling, I'll take even more. I started lifting it again and I'm sore than heck. And I've probably taken 6, 7 doses a day. The Olympic teams, I think I shared this on the call before, they over in Switzerland, Austria, and Germany, they take 12 servings a day. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, what? And that's what happens. It drives down inflammation, vegetables and fruits do. So if you're working out and getting sore, that's inflammation. And this helps to bring that down. And I've noticed personally, I recover better, faster. I feel so much better when I do that. But That's
Yeah,
me.
it's
though.
funny story on that, Dr. Kenny. When Olivia was taking it at school, she was on the college track team and she was working out and she wasn't sore. So she thought she wasn't working out as hard as she used to. But
Yep.
then she figured out it was because of what she was doing.
Yep.
Right? You got a question, Jake?
Oh yeah, I have a question too. What would
Yes,
this do for like a vein compression disorder, like a disease like that?
Well, I
Okay.
know, yeah. So your cardiovascular system, your blood vessels, the arteries have a lining in them called endothelial lining. And they now know medically that that endothelial lining in your blood vessels is the largest hormone secreting organ in the body. And so what happens when our system's inflamed, guys, and here's how you get inflammation in your system. If you've ever eaten chicken, beef, pork, vegetables and fruits, that even goes for organic, by the way, because they allow a certain amount of pesticides and herbicides on those, that creates inflammation and leaky gut in your body. Okay. So when you start getting inflammation, it chars. It's what damages your blood vessels. And your blood vessels make a substance called nitric oxide, which when that's present, it opens up the blood vessels. So anybody that lifts weights, like bodybuilders know about nitric oxide, that's what gives them the pump and the bulk. And so when you char that or inflame it, that's also what causes the cholesterol to be damaged and plaque in the arteries. So and it also reduces the calibration of the arteries by 60% when you eat a high-fat meal. And that is an Egg McMuffin and a hash brown done at the University of Maryland study. So what this does, it helps to reduce inflammation and stabilize blood pressure and arterial function. It's clinically proven, by the way, to do that. So anytime you have a blood vascular issue, yes, you want to take I would take more personally. That's what I do.
Do you recommend the fruits and vegetables, or is that the purple berries, or all three of them?
I actually do all four. So I do the omegas with it. And there's tons of research now coming out showing why. So like omegas, our omegas are not just an omega-3, they're omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And medical research now shows that omega-7s help stabilize omega-3 because omega-3 is very unstable. So it helps to kind of stabilize it, make it more supple, and it can enter the cells. But that blend, I mean, they're showing at the University of Memphis how it helps gut health. I mean, there's hormone health. That's why there's a study done at Oxford back in like 2005 comparing omega-3s, megadosing versus Ritalin with children with learning challenges and how, God, the kids that megadose the omegas, they went from 3 to 6 months of using omegas. These kids increased in their reading and comprehension anywhere from 12 to 15 months, guys, because it reduces inflammation of brain. So Olivia, you might not know this because you've been on this, but like moms, when they have a baby, 72% of the tissue of that little angel is made of fat. And fat in a mom, for the most part, you have the white matter in the brain, that's fat. The gray matter are the cells. Okay. So that little baby's stripping all that fat that it can from your body to make the tissue. And that can deprive you of hormones because fats make up hormones. So what happens is now you can't make the hormones which control sleep, menstruation, milk production, libido, all these other things. That's just some components, but your body knows what to do with the food when it takes it in, completely recognizes it. And like I said, you can never have enough vegetables and fruits. The more you eat, now fruit, I shouldn't say that fruits, there's sugar with it, you know what I mean? So, but they've removed that. So does that help though? You guys asked some great questions.
Okay, so I'm a big believer in gut health. And so I'm just wondering, I take a probiotic every single day at night. So I'm just wondering, could this replace my probiotic?
That's a great question. Probiotics, have you ever heard of prebiotics, Brianna?
Yeah, I also do that as well.
Okay. So now what they're really showing, guys, is like probiotics are when so if those of you don't know, pro means for. So antibiotic, anti means against. So antibiotics, whether you've ingested them for maybe a sickness or it was in your beef and meat. And they give them these things so that they grow bigger, by the way. Okay. And they make more beef in less time. But what happens, it destroys your gut health. And you have different types of bacteria in your gut. And when you introduce a probiotic, it's putting new bacteria into the gut. Well, those bacteria are already there. The problem is our bacterial ratios are off. So you have bacteroides and firmicutes. And you want higher amounts of bacteroides because those are the healthy producing ones. They're the ones that reduce inflammation, keep us lean, healthy, stimulate the immune system. Firmicutes, when those get high, that's when you get massive inflammation, your gut's all out of balance, and all these other things. What Juice Plus is, it is prebiotics. So that means you're actually putting the substances in that you want to feed the healthy bacteria, and you can rebalance those and regrow those. So they just did a study at Memphis on this about gut health, Brianna, and showed how much more beneficial this was in the comparison. I mean, and we always do, our studies are always done double blinded. And double blinded means that the doctor nor the patient knows what they're getting. Because even a doctor, because I totally believe in this stuff. Like, I've been on this thing for 4 years. I've watched it with thousands of patients. I can't even tell you guys, right? So my understanding of it's different because I've been doing it. However, my belief can affect you. So when they do the studies, they don't tell the doctor nor the patient what they're getting. So it completely shows functionality. And that's how they do all their studies. And what you get to your door is what they do the studies on. Most stuff out there borrows research, which I didn't know this even as a doctor. What that means is a company might do a study on green tea extract. Let's say, Brianna, maybe that it brings down inflammation. So they're going to study that on gut health. And they say, oh, well, 1,500 milligrams of this reduces inflammation and helps with this. So those companies will then take that information, they'll add 1,500 milligrams of of green tea extract in their product, but they never study their product on people or they do it on rats. Juice Plus does their studies on people in actually trials. But yes, this thing has been phenomenal for my gut health. Your gut is a direct reflection of your health. Your poop, guys, that sounds gross, but literally your poop tells so much about how healthy you are or unhealthy you are. It's crazy.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Does that help, or was there something else you were looking for, Brianna?
Nope, that helps. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, ma'am. I used to take a lot of probiotics and I haven't taken any in years now.
All right. Well, I wanted to thank you, Dr. Kenny, for taking time out of your day to share with everybody and to help me out. And as for everyone else on the call, thank you as well for taking time out of your busy lives too. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity. If anybody needs anything, please feel free to reach out. Laura and Olivia can get you guys my number, information. If you need anything, I'd love to help any way possible. Same with Steve. So
Perfect.
thank you guys so much. Have a blessed day.
Thanks. Have a great evening, everybody.